What is up, everybody, and welcome to a brand new video. Today we're going to be talking about my experience in the military and how it has really helped me on my journey into ultramarathon. I had to pull from the lessons I learned, all the experience that I gathered in the military to really get that first ultramarathon under my belt, the 100K. And then when I did the Grindstone 100, my first 100-miler, I definitely had to pull back into the vaults, back into my old Rangering days, just so I could survive that race. Now, when I was in the military, I was a fire team leader for the 75th Ranger Regiment. I only served 4 years, but in those 4 years, I did do 4 combat tours. I went to Ranger School. I did a bunch of courses and got a lot of experiences. This was a pivotal time in my life because I was so young. I joined the military when I was 19. So those experiences and everything that I went through during those 4 years really shaped the person that I am now. I like to say that I was a very average Ranger. I didn't do anything crazy. Nobody's gonna be writing the book about me. But for somebody with a 4-year contract, I advanced appropriately. I had the opportunity to go to Ranger School, become a leader for about 2 to 3 years. And I got so many experiences being a leader in the Ranger Regiment that I would never trade for the world. When I got out of the military, I got my master's degree, I got a regular 9-to-5, got married, had 2 kids, and now most of my time is spent behind a computer screen for 8 hours a day, or driving behind a steering wheel, going up and down the Northeast for inspections and meetings. I'm not David Goggins. I'm not Jocko Willings. I don't wake up at 4:30 in the morning, not super disciplined or regimented. But I do take a lot of motivation from those guys and highly recommend that if you don't know who those two are, go check them out because they will light a fire under your ass. I'm just kind of that average guy now that wants to do and that is doing some savage shit. So that kind of leads us into our first takeaway from the military that I'm bringing over to ultramarathon, and that's that daily grind. Now, if you're a veteran or you're in the military now, you know every day is a grind. You wake up, shove some food in your mouth, and you're out the door doing PT. Right when you're done with that, you shower if you have the opportunity, and you start your day from 7 a.m., 6 a.m., whatever it may be. Usually it was 5 a.m. formation, 5 a.m. until 6 or 7 at night. You get off, shower up, think about work all night while you're eating dinner, go to sleep, wake up and do it again. And I really took that into my civilian life now, where if I'm not doing something to advance towards my goals, I start getting antsy. Now, it kind of gets convoluted just because we all know when you have a family, you have to take that time to rest. But that is working towards a goal to be a better father, to be a better husband, to be a more complete person. So it's one of those things that you have to come to terms with. But that is also the reason why it's 9 o'clock and I'm in a cold basement running on a treadmill that I bought specifically for this reason. Today was a crazy day. Didn't have any time to do anything. So I had to wait until the babies were down and had some time to actually get my miles in. And that's that daily grind, making sure that you get the work in so then it's not gonna affect your end goal. You end up skipping these easier runs, 2 or 3 times a week, 1 time every week. And you're gonna be feeling it on the mountains. You're gonna be feeling it in your ultra because you know you didn't put the work in. And unfortunately, in the military, if you start cutting corners, the outcome could be dramatic. So I really took that daily grind to heart, where even if I don't want to, as long as I'm not injured, I'm gonna be training no matter what. So for topic number 2 is definitely embracing pain. So I definitely utilize this a lot in my 100-miler and some of these tougher long runs that I've done preparing for my next ultra. I had a rude awakening early in my military career when I went through RASP, Ranger assessment selection program where, you know, I came in kind of cocky. Basic wasn't too bad. Got smoked because I had a stupid smirk face. So I got smoked a lot in basic training. Airborne was really easy. And then we get to RASP. A lot of people are cocky, and that's an instant gut check the minute they pick you up. So they immediately start destroying you. And the whole goal of RASP is just to make people quit. So I had to get very comfortable, and the people that I was with had to get very comfortable with pain and knowing that you're just going to get destroyed for about 2 months straight. I think we started with about 150 people, and we ended up graduating about 40 to 50 people in my class. That didn't stop. When you're a private in Ranger Regiment, pretty much every single day, TAD Spec 4s and team leaders are getting you ready for combat, and they're destroying you while you do it. So every day was a smoke fest until you went to Ranger School. But Ranger School was also a kick in the ass. So that was another, 2 months, 2.5 months. I recycled, so it was even longer, where you just get starved, you get destroyed, you're running and rucking and doing missions in the middle of Georgia's forest with raw feet, water trench feet, and you just gotta accept it. You just gotta know that your feet are gonna hurt, and you got a mission to do. So that's definitely one thing that I always tell people is just, you don't have to get used to the pain. You don't want to be a sadist or a masochist or anything crazy like that. You don't have to love it, but you just have to know that it's gonna hurt. If you're running 100 miles, at some point, even pro runners, at some point, you're gonna be hurting, and you just gotta push through it. As long as you're not risking injury, you gotta push through it. In the military, when you're overseas, even if it's risk to injury, you still have to push through it. So it's not as extreme. You don't have to go all out like you do in the military, but you do have to know how to embrace that pain and become friends with it. So one quick story about accepting the pain or having fun with it. When I was about 70 miles in to my 100-mile race with the Grindstone 100, I started hallucinating. Trees started becoming cabins, and rabbits were running around the forest when they obviously weren't. And I knew I was hallucinating because in RASP, we were getting absolutely destroyed. And there's a portion of RASP called Coal Range where they pretty much take you out to a field and they just smoke you, and they try to drop as many people as they can in that 4-day period, I'm pretty sure. They say it's because you're supposed to be learning land navigation, but really they're just trying to make as many people quit as possible. So there's also a part in Coal Range called the Pit of Woe, and it's basically just a circle of sandbags. It was nighttime, and they put us in the Pit of Woe in 3 circles of people. So the outer circle of people had blue lights on, their L-shaped flashlights. The inner portion had red lights on, and the most inner circle had white, and they were all moving in different directions. So we were about 3 days in, 2 days in, and they were having us all run in a circle and smoke us. So all you saw were swirling different lights for hours and hours. Not only that, but we had our rucks on, and every time they said, hit the wood line, we had to sprint probably about a football field to a wood line and back as fast as we could. If it weren't fast enough, we had to sprint again, get back in the Pit of Woe, and go in a circle. So start hallucinating, start seeing the lights, think I'm in the circus, whatever. They put us in formation after they get tired of smoking us for so long, and they have my buddy Tom Block out in front. Now Tom Block is a mountain of a man, and he's standing he's standing in front of us at attention, and all I see is a little creature crawling on his face. And then I see the tents behind him just shooting up in the air. So I was very accustomed to hallucinating. I have a bunch of other hallucination stories from Ranger School and other things in the military. But as soon as that started happening, when I was on that 100-miler, I knew I was hallucinating, and I was kind of having fun with it. If you start squinting your eyes, shaking your head, you can kind of make the hallucinations do things that you want. So I had fun on the 100-miler for, a couple hours until I hit the next aid station. So definitely, if you want to have fun with your pain, you can. I know I did. There we have it. That was our late night run, and that leads us to our third topic and our final topic, which is being mission orientated. Now, this topic can get kind of preachy. I don't want to get too far into it, but basically in the military, from the time we woke up to the time we went to sleep, every single decision can affect that end mission. Especially for us in the Ranger Regiment, if we stayed up all night drinking, we wouldn't be able to work out, we wouldn't be able to focus on the training at hand, and it would have drastic or dire consequences on the mission overseas. So now that we're civilians, or now that I'm a civilian, I noticed that I had to take that big mission from the military and separate it into other categories or smaller categories in my life, whether that be family, work, and fitness. Have to separate them, but be just as aggressive and be willing to grind for each one of them. Whether that's waking up early so I can spend more time with my family, making sure that I shut off my phone so I can actually focus on work, and then staying up at night in a dark basement and running at 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock at night on a treadmill. Having those missions have really improved my mental state. It's almost like I can have my cake and eat it too. Those were the three big things that I took away from the military, and that's enjoying the daily grind, embracing pain, having some fun with some hallucinations, and 3, being mission orientated. I'm going to take these things not only in ultramarathon, but all facets of my life, and I'm going to be out there. I'm going to be grinding, I'm going to be mission orientated, and I'm going to be seeking pain. So go out there, seek some pain, grind it out, and let's do it. Let's become average savages together.